Organizers, ladies and gentlemen, Opthea is uniquely focused on efficacy as an unmet need in wet AMD. Opthea is traded both in Australia and in the United States. Not all patients benefit from wet AMD treatment, and of the patients that do respond, not all respond to the same degree. An analysis of VIEW patients shows that patients with lesions characterized as occult lesions benefited less when compared to patients with predominantly classic lesions. Of note is that occult lesions constitute the majority of the lesions. So wet AMD is a multifactorial disease, and it's likely that VEGF-A is not the only culprit. VEGF-C and D may also be implicated in the pathogenesis. OPT-302 is a biological trap molecule that inhibits VEGF-C and D, and when administered in combination with anti-VEGF-A, may improve results in patients with wet AMD. This is supported by several observations. VEGF-C and D co-localize with their receptors VEGF-R2 and VEGF-R3 in ocular tissues of wet AMD patients. VEGF-C and D are elevated in the serum of patients with wet AMD. VEGF-C induces leakage and is a hyperpermeability agent. And continuous suppression of VEGF-A with bevacizumab results in upregulation of VEGF-C and D, which can be measured in aqueous humor. So to test this hypothesis, Opthea ran a large randomized control dose-ranging trial. This phase 2 trial had 360 patients, and the patients were randomized across 3 treatment groups. The control group was ranibizumab, and the 2 OPT-302 groups, the combination groups, were at the level of 0.5 and 2 milligram. Patients were dosed on a monthly basis for 6 months. And this study met its primary endpoint, and OPT-302 2 milligram combination therapy was superior to the control ranibizumab treatment group. And the magnitude of effect, as you can see, was 3.4 letters, and the benefit was observed throughout the follow-up. The lower dose, 0.5, was insufficient to show benefit over the standard of care. The secondary anatomical and visual outcomes were directionally supportive of the primary outcome. And importantly, in the group of patients with occult and minimally classic lesions, those patients that don't benefit as much from anti-VEGF-A treatment compared to predominantly classic, in this trial, these patients actually benefited most, and the magnitude of effect was almost 6 letters. This was also supported by the secondary outcome, retinal drying, as you can see here with OCT, and anatomy, lesion size measured with fluorescein angiography. Safety is very important and is well established for anti-VEGF-A products. OPT-302 meets this threshold, which with its safety profile that is similar to the standard of care based on the phase 2 data. So based on the phase 2 data, the company has embarked in a large pivotal phase 3 program that is ongoing as we speak. The pivotal program is comprised of 2 large phase 3 randomized controlled trials. One of the trials is controlled by ranibizumab, and the other trial is controlled by aflibercept in order to be able to generalize with respect to anti-VEGF-A treatments. Ranibizumab and aflibercept are dosed per label in a fixed dosing regimen. The OPT-302 dose that was advanced is the 2 milligram. It's administered in combination, and the dose regimen is Q4 weeks and Q8 weeks. It's important to emphasize that patients in these trials are dosed in a fixed dosing regimen in order to maximize the response seen with anti-VEGF-A and to prove that the combination therapy is actually superior to that response. So to summarize, OPT-302 has a plausible mechanism of action. The results of the phase 2 are robust, and they constitute the basis and inform the phase 3 program in order to increase its probability of success. Thank you very much.